In this tutorial we're going to be looking at creating crosstabs and examining different measures of association. So I've already opened up a version of the GSS 2006 data set, and I'm going to go ahead and start creating the crosstabs. And the way I do that is analyze descriptive statistics crosstabs, and I will choose my independent variables. In this case I'll be looking at sex and race, and I will be putting them in the rows, and I'll be examining the outcome or dependent variable, which is favor or oppose death penalty for murder. I'm going to go to the cells button, and I'm going to uncheck everything except row, because I want to see how our respondents differ by sex and race in their opinions of capital punishment. So I'll click continue. This time I'm going to choose statistics, and I'll choose lambda, which is an appropriate measure of association for nominal level variables, which are categorical and unordered. And I will click OK, and I will examine the output. And there I've got my tables showing the differences by gender in terms of attitudes about capital punishment for murder, and race down below. Okay, and we also see we've got nominal by nominal lambda statistic. Here we've got the values here and here. For we want to look at capital punishment as the dependent, and the value is 0.08 for capital punishment as dependent. With gender or sex, we see it's 0.00. All right. Now, typically we'd kind of view those as weak, or in this case non-existent, 0, but 0.08 is a rather weak relationship. But I will just kind of note that lambda tends to be a very, very conservative measure of association. Alright, now we're going to go back and we're going to create another crosstab. This time we'll do ordinal variables, which are categorical, but they do have a rank order. So we'll go to Analyze Descriptives Crosstabs, and this time we'll look at family income as the outcome, and we'll be using education as the independent variable. Now it's important we do education in categories. The other variable, highest year of school completed, is actually continuous rather than categorical. So we'll add that there. This time for statistics we're going to choose gamma. Gamma is an appropriate measure of association for ordinal level variables, and so is Summers D, so we'll choose that as well. And continue. Again, we'll go to cells and uncheck everything but row. Continue and OK. And we'll look at the output for this. If we scroll to the bottom, see, there's the syntax that was used to create this, and here is our table. We can see the levels of education and income. So for those with less than or equal to a high school education, about a third of them made less than $20,000. For those with a college degree, only 5% of those made less than $20,000. So definitely education seems to pay off, especially in this kind of rudimentary 3-category measurement. And over on the other side, if you look at the $75,000 or more category in terms of income, those with a college degree, about 47% in that category. Those with less than or equal to high school, 13%. And those with some college, 23%. So even a little bit of college seems to have a return in terms of income. So that's simply a descriptive discussion. If we want to look at how these variables, the measure of association, we need to look at the value of our measure of association. We've got down here, we've got gamma, ordinal by ordinal, that's 0.48. And this is almost always higher. It's less conservative than the Summers D measure, which is, if we have income dependent, 0.37, because that's our dependent variable is income. So that's the one we should look at, 0.37. And in either case, 0.48, 0.37, we generally would view that as a moderately strong relationship in sociology. Of course, that's kind of unique form of interpretation. Other fields that have a high rate of prediction would maybe view that as moderate to weak. But that's kind of just a general rule of thumb in sociology. And so that concludes our tutorial on creating crosstabs for nominal and ordinal variables and examining the related measures of association. For the nominal variables, that was lambda, and for the ordinal variables, that was gamma and Summers D.